So yeah, it was just kind of a really nice week of, Judas Priest, the comedy show. Really enjoyed that a lot. Hello, welcome back to Al Talks. This podcast I started 3 years ago to chronicle me starting stand up. This podcast is a weekly podcast. It comes out once a week, and this is just a small little introduction video into the podcast. So down below in the description of each episode, you can go to my Linktree and find links to everything connected to me. This podcast is available on YouTube, which you're watching it on right now, and also on Spotify. But yeah, that is just a small introduction into this podcast and everything that goes along with it. Hello, welcome. Oh, the microphone is away. Hello, welcome back to Al Talks. I'm gonna be recording a couple of episodes in bulk, so that's why it might look like I might have news for a while, or talk about upcoming gigs or whatnot, because I'm basically going to be recording hopefully 3 episodes today, if I don't get burnt out or whatnot. But anyway, this is a Heavy Metal Memories episode, and I hope it's not a soundtrack, so I don't get a copyright strike, because that'd be annoying. But yeah, this episode's a Heavy Metal Memories one, because I went to see Judas Priest, and the guests were Saxon and Unra Heap. I arrived late to the venue because of a kerfuffle with the public transport system in Dublin, known as the Lewis. Lewis means go fast in Irish, but that transport system doesn't really. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about public transport. I also went to see Troy Bond, so even though this is a Heavy Metal Memories episode, I'll mostly be talking about going to see Judas Priest and whatnot, and I'll talk about the Troy Bond's gig on that towards the end of the episode. So, like I said, I got to the venue late. Unra Heap were kind of wrapping up. I think they played like 2 songs when I was out by the merch stands getting this cool t-shirt. Actually, I'm gonna pause this for a sec. Alright, because I got this cool t-shirt from the gig, and I also bought this. Cool Judas Priest bandana. I'll just leave it there. But yeah, so I got that at the gig. So while I was buying that, Unrat Heap were wrapping up. I had never heard of them before, so they're kind of, or well, they are a rock band. They're not as heavy as Saxon and Judas Priest, so I can't really judge. Like I said, from 2 songs that I heard them, but like I said, I was at the merch stand because. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, so that was that, and then after that, I went up to my seat. Standing tickets ran out, unfortunately, so I couldn't get standing, but seating wasn't too bad, so And while, so I sat down, and then Saxon came on. Now, Saxon, I used to listen to when I was a teenager. They were great, really enjoyed their set. Guys really rocked out, and they've been performing for 40 years or so. So, quite an enjoyable experience by Saxon, which I really enjoyed. And then, obviously, the main event, which was Judas Priest. Judas Priest came out and they started playing You Got Another Thing Coming and Breaking the Law, like probably their 2 most popular songs, which I recorded both in full. I might clip some of the bits out of that and put it in the Heavy Metal Memories vlog, which I did shoot. I shot like at the end of the Judas Priest gig, I shot like, I think it's like a 10 or 15 second clip, which I'll cut like bits of the live performance in there as well, I think. It would make a cool vlog. So yeah, Judas Priest played You Got Another Thing Coming and You Got Another Thing Coming and Breaking the Law, and then Rob talked to us, the audience, for a bit. Talked about how they were supposed to be coming with Ozzy and COVID and blah blah blah, and was long awaited return. And then I think they played Panic Attack, which is the song off their new album. Where is it? If you could see the logo, can you see through me behind? See, at the top there it says Invisible Shield, but that's, is this far enough out? Okay, that's far enough out. It's not too bad. Will the sound be weird? I just leave it on top. Will it come off like this? But yeah, so then they played, I can't remember what they played next, but yeah, I think they played another song of the Invisible Shield album towards the end, and it was basically every song that I wanted to hear by them they played, which is great. And then I was kind of sitting there during the gig and I was thinking, I'll talk about this in a different episode that I will be coming out in a few weeks, but it brought me back to a memory that I've been listening to Judas Priest, because first came across them in GTA Vice City, which I got in like March 2003, and the game release I think was November, October 2002. And if you look at that game soundtrack, it is, I mean, it's a great soundtrack. It's got, it's introduced to a lot of good bands and groups, because that game, kind of started my introduction to heavy metal, and because Crazy Train was in it, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Led Zeppelin, like a load of bands in there, which is great. Sound weird because I have a cold, and it just really skyrocketed my what would I say, interest in heavy metal and rock and roll and stuff like that. And like Judas Priest has been around 50 years, and they're kind of the part of a trio from Birmingham, along with Motorhead and Black Sabbath, and then Ozzy Osbourne later on when he went solo. So there's kind of that trio in that area of Birmingham, which produced probably the most amazing metal music in the world. And I might have mentioned that I was listening to Rob Halford. I think in a previous episode I remember mentioned that he was on Mark Maron, and we were talking about Judas Priest and how they've been around. Rob Halford, who's the lead singer of Judas Priest, he mentioned something as well, saying that they're the only metal band in the world to release a record 50 years apart, because Invisible Shield came out this year. So that was pretty cool. I'm trying to think of any other things. Yeah, costume changes. Rob Halford had, say, maybe 8 or 9 costume changes. Nearly every song he was changing costumes. And then towards the end, it was like the way the stage was set up. There was kind of a platform where the drummer was sitting, and around the sides there was kind of these like curtain things off to the sides where band members could disappear in and out of for like guitar changes and to want to like take a small little break and whatnot. And Rob disappeared into one of the ones that he was using on the left hand side of the stage, and then like this big cloud of smoke came out. There wasn't ice machines at the gig, so I was wondering, I was like, what's that? And then I heard a roar of an engine, and then like I had forgotten that Rob always does that, so it kind of caught me by surprise. Then he came out on a motorbike, and then he disappeared again. He did like one song on the motorbike, wearing like the old school the motorbike cap and the leather outfit that he always used to wear on stage, and it was just a really cool ending to the gig. It did like I was mentioning, the clip I shot of for the comedy vlog is literally the end of the gig where there was just Rob was walking around on stage throwing pics into the crowd and stuff like that. Oh, another cool thing happened during the Saxon gig. Somebody threw up one of their battle vests like this to the lead singer of Saxon. I forget his name, and he put it on the mic stand, and then someone else threw their battle vest to their guitarist, and he actually put it on, and then the lead singer of Saxon signed it, both of them, and then threw it back to the guy who gave it to him, which is always really, really cool kind of a thing during the gig. I'm trying to think of other things to talk about. I think nearly forgot Troy Bond. Troy Bond at Liberty Hall Theatre. I've never been to that theatre before, but it's actually pretty, like, it's a nice theatre for stand up. Just the way it's built, because you have like wide open area at the bottom and then kind of a balcony up top. So it's okay. I was sitting in the very front row, which is pretty cool. Went to snag that ticket, and Troy was very, very good, but towards the end there was a dickhead heckler who kind of ruined the show. Just wouldn't shut up for 10 minutes until security kicked him out. The other thing is, like, why, like, security took so long to come down. And in fairness to Troy, he did give him an opportunity to redeem himself, but like, I think your man's son was there as well, and he was shouting shit, and it was like 10 minutes. Everyone in the audience was like, please just shut up. And actually, when he got kicked out towards the end, everyone started singing na 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 na, goodbye, whatever that song is. Again, I hope I don't get copyright strike for that. Just humming that. So that was that. Troy did a meet and greet, but I didn't go because I didn't stay the night up in Dublin because I had to go back for work, and then I wanted to go and meet other comics, but unfortunately when I got to the other comedy club they all went home, so, but it is what it is. But yeah, I really enjoyed Troy Bond. Actually, during the this was after the gig, so this was with the Q&A, and somebody, they passed like a wire, if you had a question, they passed the wireless microphone around. I was wondering like about putting my hand up and talking, because, but then I was like, the only thing I would have mentioned was probably would have been, oh, I'm a comedian, hello Troy. But so I was like, I didn't really want to say that in a room, because there was two or three other comics, and like, actually Jim, I don't know, Troy's opener for some reason didn't open, so a local comedian who I know, Jim Elliott, opened up, and I haven't seen Jim um, do stand up in a little bit, so I really enjoyed his new material, which is really cool. He's currently doing a tour of Ireland, so I really enjoy that. And then, yeah, somebody asked Troy, he was like, how did you get like so good at dealing with hecklers, and like it happened there and whatnot. And he started talking like he told a big long story, but he mentioned like remaining cool in like heated situations, and he said, like, this isn't really material. Like I said, I wouldn't be talking about a comedian's new tour on the internet, like, I'm not dickhead like that, but this is essentially a Q&A sort of thing, so that's, it's different. But during that, he was what was I saying? Yeah, he was explaining, and then he mentioned Foster's, because Troy, is a big fan of comic books and stuff like that, and he mentioned a cartoon that was called Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and he mentioned there was a particular episode where one of the characters from it, Blue, had to keep his cool while he was painting a go kart, and like there was another character called Cheese who just he was just crazy, and he just caused mayhem, and it was just like. When he mentioned that, I was like, "That is so cool that Troy watched it." Because Troy is, I think, he's like what 28 or 29. I think it might be 29. Like I'm older than him by 3 years, but we're not that far off. We're kind of in a similar age bracket. But I just thought it was really cool when he mentioned it, because like a lot of people in the audience who watched the cartoon, they were like, "Yeah, yeah, I remember this episode." And actually, before, like, I googled that particular scene that he was talking about, and like it did bring back really cool memories. It was like that day, like this week has been like a lot of nostalgia for me, because like I said, listen, playing video games, watching, like, I was actually Foster's Home for Matching Friends when I was playing GTA Vice City like 21 years ago. That used to be on Cartoon Network the whole time, so it was that kind of, it really really brought me back to 21 years ago. Like, I'm I'm what, I'm 32, so 21 years ago it would have been, I would have been 11. Yeah, I would have been 11 years old. I was born 1992, so 2003, 11, I think. 11? I don't know. What is it? Yeah. Yeah, it would be 11. My maths is not great, but anyway, so I think that's, yeah, it was just kind of a really nice week of, Judas Priest, the comedy show. Really enjoyed that. A lot of traveling back and forth. Very tiring. Still kind of tired, to be honest, from it. But I think that's pretty much it for this episode. It's kind of a long one. Please do watch it to the end. I'm gonna start putting little clips, nice clips, as a reward for people who watch to the end. And you'll only know if you watched it to the end. So there's that. You've been warned, people. And when I do clips of the episode for the start, I'm not gonna be putting this one at the start, so you're gonna have to watch to the end. And if you do watch the end, you'll get an award. But not in this episode, in a different one. Oh god, I'm gonna stop recording because I'm just getting tired. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be recording a couple of these back to back, so that's why they might come across as the same time of day and stuff, because they are. I'm just going to try and record a bulk of episodes and get them out to you folks for your entertainment, which will lead nicely into the next episode that I'm going to be doing, which is all about podcasts and entertaining. But yeah, that's all. Really, like I said, really enjoyed going to see Troy Bond. Really enjoyed Judas Priest. A lot of traveling back and forth, tiring weekend. But yeah, that is all for me for this week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you all next week. Bye bye.